What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Alex Pereira has once again set the MMA world buzzing after posting another cryptic picture on Instagram. In the photo, he's holding 2 UFC belts, and the caption simply reads, 2 + 1 = 3. Instantly, fans started speculating that he might be hinting at a move to heavyweight, possibly aiming to become a 3-division UFC champion. With the way Alex has been climbing through divisions and collecting belts, the idea doesn't seem far-fetched, and the caption only added fuel to the fire. Many believe he's teasing the possibility of chasing that historic 3rd championship, something no one has ever achieved inside the UFC. However, the situation isn't as straightforward as it sounds. Jon Jones has been calling him out publicly, even mentioning meeting him at the White House, but that doesn't align with the current title picture. If Alex truly wants that 3rd belt, he would have to fight the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, who are set for their rematch. Only after that could he even begin to talk about a showdown with Jones. So the path to heavyweight gold is complicated, and fans are left wondering whether Alex is teasing a real move or simply enjoying the suspense his posts always create. For now, all people can do is wait and see what the 2 + 1 = 3 message really means. Whether it's a genuine hint at chasing a heavyweight title or just Alex having fun with the speculation, one thing is clear. Every time he posts something cryptic, the entire MMA community pays attention, and this latest tease is no different. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Paddy Pimblett is having an absolute field day with the UFC 324 announcement, especially with the ongoing feud between him and Arman. The moment Dana revealed the matchup, Paddy jumped straight onto Instagram and posted a hype video celebrating the fight. Right in the middle of that video, he included a picture of Arman crying, clearly taking a jab and adding more fuel to the rivalry. He didn't stop there. Paddy moved over to X and fired off a message directly aimed at Arman, writing, "You like apples?" Keeping the trash talk alive and making it clear he's embracing every bit of the chaos surrounding this booking. And it looks like Paddy won't be going into this fight without major star power backing him. Conor reacted to the announcement by showing his support for Paddy, posting, "Come on, Paddy," giving the Scouser an extra boost of attention heading into UFC 324. For Paddy, who already thrives on energy, hype, and back-and-forth drama, this moment is lining up exactly how he wants it. And with Conor cheering him on publicly, the spotlight on this fight is only getting brighter. Moving on to another news. Many in the MMA community have voiced their frustration, and one of the loudest reactions came from former champion Aljamain Sterling, who slammed the UFC's decision to book Volkanovski versus Lopez. Sharing his thoughts on X, Sterling made it clear that he agreed with Lerone Murphy's frustration. He wrote that even if he himself wasn't in line for the fight, either Murphy or Movsar Evloev should have been the guy. He pointed out how Evloev had already been passed over once in favor of Lopez, only for Lopez to now receive yet another opportunity for gold. To Sterling, it was almost laughable, and he didn't hold back, saying, "Lol," before adding that, while fair play goes to Lopez, it's easy to understand why fighters begin to lose love for the game. In his view, it's a cold world, and the only real power lies with the fans. Sterling urged them to start complaining about what he called nonsense matchmaking, because at the end of the day, the fighters can only accept the bouts offered to them, while the UFC caters heavily to fan demand. He challenged the community directly, asking whether fans truly want merit or popularity to decide who earns these marquee fights. He told everyone to speak on it, making it clear that the current landscape feels very different from what the sport once represented. Sterling went even further, stating that it is 110% not what it used to be. He explained that he has always ridden for the company and supported its direction, but the current situation is beyond frustrating. He acknowledged that he understands the UFC's point of view, but he criticized the repeated claim that the promotion always gives fans the fights they want and consistently matches the best against the best. According to him, this is no longer the case, and the issue has become more frequent, more noticeable, and harder to ignore, especially in his weight class, where deserving contenders often watch opportunities slip away. Moving on to another news, the MMA community erupted almost instantly after the announcement of Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title, and the reactions poured in with overwhelming frustration, many echoing the exact same disbelief Arman expressed. Fans felt the decision made no sense, especially when the division already has a clear #1 contender who has fought every dangerous opponent put in front of him. One fan wrote, "Dana really did Arman dirty again," The guy has fought every monster in the division, proved he's the real #1 contender, and still gets skipped, so Paddy can get another hype boost. Merit doesn't matter anymore. The fan added that the idea of Pimblett getting an interim title shot was hilarious, pointing out that in just a few weeks, Paddy or Gatji might have a belt around their waist, while the actual top contender waits on the sidelines, asking, UFC or WWE? Another fan chimed in, saying, Dana and the team came together and said, let's just piss everyone off. Paddy doesn't deserve to be anywhere near the title right now, especially after Arman cemented himself as the #1 contender. It should be Arman versus Justin, whilst Ilia recovers from his heartbreak. The fan also added, by the way, I don't want to hear anyone criticize Khamzat now. He's legit injured unlike Ilia. Should have been Holloway over both, LMAO. The backlash kept building. Another user tweeted, disgrace. Just created the interim so Justin gets what he wants. And if Paddy wins, more hype for a matchup with Ilia. Interim lightweight title without the #1 contender. Is this UFC or WWE? The sentiment across the board was that the interim belt was being used as a promotional tool rather than a reflection of rankings or merit. Fans felt the matchmaking ignored the reality of the division, sidelining Arman at a moment when he had clearly earned his position. The entire reaction showcased the growing frustration among viewers who are tired of seeing popularity override merit, and many believe this decision will only deepen the divide between what fans expect and what the promotion continues to deliver. Moving on to another news, Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev have openly shared their frustration after recent matchmaking decisions left both men feeling overlooked in the featherweight title picture. Murphy, widely viewed as a frontrunner for the next title shot, expressed how much it stung to be passed over at a moment when he felt he had earned his place. He explained that missing the opportunity to fight one of the true featherweight greats was what hurt him the most. For him, it wasn't a question of who the best fighter in the division was anymore. Instead, it had become a matter of who carried the most popularity, who generated the biggest conversations, and who brought the most attention from fans and the promotion. Still, Murphy made it clear that business is never personal, and despite the setback, he intended to dust himself off and move forward. Later, he added a short but firm statement, saying, Mark UK against anyone, signaling that he remains ready for whoever the promotion puts in front of him. Movsar Evloev also jumped into the conversation, offering his own perspective and making a straightforward proposal to settle their frustrations directly inside the octagon. Instead of continuing the debate online, he issued a public message to Murphy and telling him he would give him the opportunity to fight the #1 contender spot directly. Evloev urged Murphy to inform his team that he was prepared to meet him on the same card as the championship fight, creating a clear and meaningful path for one of them to step into the next title shot afterward. His message was simple, direct, and designed to cut through the noise. He wanted action, not talk. For both men, the situation highlighted the challenges top contenders face when rankings, timing, and promotional decisions don't align with their expectations. And it set the stage for a potential showdown that could reshape the division moving forward. Moving on to another news, the MMA community is going off on Ilia for what many are calling fake behavior. Yesterday, it was announced that Cristiano Ronaldo has officially become a shareholder in Way of Warrior FC, an MMA organization in which Ilia himself is a part owner. Everything seemed normal at first. Ilia welcomed Ronaldo on Twitter with a friendly message, writing, "Welcome to the family, Cristiano." On the surface, it looked like a simple, positive interaction, but fans quickly dug up an old clip that completely changed the tone of the conversation. In that resurfaced interview, Ilia was asked who he would personally invite to one of his fights. He responded by saying, "The person I'm going to invite personally is Messi, because he lives in Miami. So, Cristiano, as long as Messi exists." The clip spread fast, and people immediately called him out, saying he clearly preferred Messi and didn't respect Ronaldo back then. But now that Ronaldo is investing money into a company he co-owns, Ilia suddenly appears supportive. This contradiction caused a wave of reactions online, with fans blasting him for switching sides purely for financial benefit. Many labeled him a hypocrite, claiming he's only showing love for Ronaldo now because it helps his business. Comments flooded social platforms saying things like, "It's true," when they say money changes people. Look how Ilia is on his best behavior as soon as Ronaldo put money in his pocket. Others compared him to Conor, calling him a cheap copy who switches loyalties depending on what benefits him most. Some fans pointed out that Ilia used to openly support Valencia, and now suddenly he leans toward Madrid, arguing that he changed teams for clout. They said he's the definition of a hypocrite, accusing him of joking around and disrespecting players before fame, only to switch up once his profile and opportunities grew. Another fan wrote, "Nothing worse than a lame who talks big but then turns around begging for clout." Others added that he turned the same people who used to cheer for his confidence into clowns, saying he disrespected Ronaldo in favor of Messi, and now he's pretending to be friendly because there's business money involved. One comment summed it up harshly: "We don't know you, buddy." Cristiano Ronaldo always has the last laugh. Moving on to another news. Volk reacted to the growing backlash online during a recent YouTube video, where he addressed the criticism surrounding the UFC's decision to book him against Lopez instead of giving the title shot to fighters many believe earned it more. Volk admitted that he personally feels Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy were more deserving of the opportunity, and he understood why fans were frustrated. He explained that he had been pushing to fight earlier and originally expected to return in December, with Murphy being the likely opponent. According to him, the UFC seemed to be waiting on Gene Silva and Lopez, and when the discussions shifted toward Lopez, even he was surprised. Volk said that he and his team questioned whether there were more deserving contenders, especially since they had already fought Lopez recently. Still, he emphasized that he has always been willing to fight anyone the UFC puts in front of him, and that part hasn't changed. He acknowledged that at one point it looked like the fight might not happen at all, before the UFC eventually finalized it, which he described as a relief. He reiterated that, in his opinion, Evloev and Murphy were the two fighters who had earned the shot, and they were the ones he originally called out. However, Volk also pointed out the reality of the business. He said the UFC clearly wanted Lopez, and while Evloev and Murphy may be more deserving, the question is whether they would bring the kind of fight Lopez will. Volk added that fans can expect an exciting matchup, and he believes they will appreciate the style and intensity he and Lopez bring into the octagon, even if many feel others should have been next in line. Moving on to another news, Ariel Helwani, along with much of the MMA community, is blasting the UFC for choosing to pass over Arman and instead booking Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title at UFC 324. Speaking on his MMA show, Helwani said he was stunned that the promotion ignored the clear #1 contender. He explained that Gaethje versus Pimblett is a fine matchup on its own, but it should not be carrying an interim belt. Helwani argued that Arman should have been locked in already, and that a better approach would have been Arman versus Ilia, with the winner going on to face the victor of Gaethje versus Pimblett. To him, it made no sense that an interim title fight does not feature the #1 contender, because, as he emphasized, the #1 contender at 155 pounds is a guy named Arman, and he isn't even part of this event. And of course, the champion, Ilia, is also not involved in this fight, which makes the whole situation feel rushed and unnecessary. Helwani went on to call the matchup a makeshift fight, comparing its prestige to something like a BMF title. He said, "God bless. I said I wanted to see Paddy fight for the belt. God bless. I said Justin needed to win a couple more." He reminded viewers that Gaethje previously said he would retire unless he got a title fight, and now suddenly he's fighting for an interim title. To Helwani, the whole situation feels bogus, and he found it insane that this matchup is headlining over Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. He explained that on paper, Paddy versus Justin is a good fight if Paddy wasn't already tied to Ilia, and Ilia was supposed to face Arman. Under normal circumstances, Paddy versus Justin would be a great #1 contender fight to see who earns the right to meet Ilia or Arman next. Helwani reminded fans that Ilia won the belt back in June, so he doesn't think an interim title is necessary at all. He argued that the fight should have simply been a 5-round co-main event between Ilia and Arman later in the year. He asked what the actual problem was with that plan. He also pointed out that the UFC has now claimed that the winner of Gaethje versus Pimblett will fight Ilia. That leaves Arman on the outside again, with no clear path. Helwani expressed total disbelief at what Arman is expected to do at this point, questioning how many times he must prove himself just to be given the shot he already earned. Moving on to another news. Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier are at it again, trading shots in their ongoing rivalry. The latest exchange started when Cormier questioned why Jones wasn't spending Thanksgiving with his family. Commenting under a video of Jones eating in Chechnya, Cormier wrote, "Why is Jon Jones not with his family on Thanksgiving holiday?" Jon didn't hold back, firing back with a tweet that read, "Imagine a man getting his ass kicked, and years later, he's still pondering how I spent my holidays. Brother, that's not concern. That's a long-term rental. utilities included. Jones didn't stop at the tweet. He shared a video mocking Cormier, making it clear that he enjoys getting under DC's skin. In the clip, Jones said, "I own a rent-a mansion in your head for the rest of your life," emphasizing how he thrives on lingering in Cormier's thoughts, even years after their most memorable battles. The video captured the playful yet intense nature of their rivalry, blending humor with the kind of psychological games they've been playing for over a decade. Amidst the back and forth, Cormier took a moment to acknowledge the fans, posting a message of gratitude and love for those who might be spending the holiday alone. He said, "I wanted to take the time out to say a happy Thanksgiving to the people who are not with their friends and family today. Happy Thanksgiving. And if no one tells you that they love you, I love you. Have a blessed day. We love you. Happy Thanksgiving." The post showed the softer side of DC, reminding fans that even in the midst of heated rivalries, there's space for appreciation and positivity. The ongoing banter between Jones and Cormier continues to entertain the MMA world, blending personal jabs with moments of heartfelt connection to the community. Moving on to another news, Arman reacted shortly after the announcement that he had once again been passed over for a title opportunity, and his frustration was clear. As soon as the news broke, he took to X to share his immediate thoughts, posting a brief but powerful message that summed up exactly how he felt about the situation. Arman wrote, "Make it make sense," highlighting just how confused he was by the UFC's decision and how difficult it has become for him to understand what more he needs to do to finally secure the shot he has earned. For a fighter who has consistently proven himself against top contenders, the move felt like yet another unexpected hurdle placed in front of him. His reaction captured the sentiment of many fans who believe he should already be fighting for the belt, and it added even more fuel to the growing debate surrounding the division.